Following the events known as One More Day, Peter Parker experiences a profound shift in his life. His identity as Spider-Man is completely erased from the memories of everyone around him, including his closest relatives and friends, such as Aunt May, Mary Jane Watson, and members of the Avengers. His marriage to Mary Jane is undone, and the public forgets the fallout from his unmasking during the Superhuman Registration Act. Peter moves back in with Aunt May while struggling to secure affordable housing and balancing the pressures of his personal life and professional work as a photographer. During this period, Peter reconnects with Harry Osborn, the son of Norman Osborn, who was previously believed to be dead but has been living in Europe for several years. Their reunion is tense, reflecting the complicated history and unresolved conflicts between them. Peter also encounters a new ally named Jackpot, a masked vigilante who assists in combating crime across the city. At the same time, new threats surface, including Menace, a mysterious villain wreaking havoc throughout New York, and the Freak, a dangerous adversary testing Spider-Man's powers and resourcefulness. As Peter navigates his dual existence as a freelance photographer and Spider-Man, he must manage the constant tension of maintaining his secret identity while protecting those around him. The Brand New Day arc initiates a fresh chapter in Peter's journey, introducing new allies, formidable enemies, and the challenges that shape his continued role as Spider-Man. In the 2016 to 2017 arc Dead No More, The Clone Conspiracy, Peter Parker confronts a dangerous situation when the Jackal, a scientist and villain obsessed with cloning, unveils a method capable of bringing the dead back to life. This technology leads to the resurrection of several individuals, including Gwen Stacy, forcing Peter to face both personal grief and ethical questions about life and death. The Jackal's resurrection process relies on a specialized serum designed to restore life, but it is unstable. Those revived often experience cellular deterioration, making them unpredictable and potentially hazardous. Despite these risks, the Jackal continues resurrecting multiple people from Spider-Man's past, including allies and enemies, creating widespread complications for the city and Peter alike. Initially, Peter is overwhelmed by the chance to see lost loved ones again. However, he quickly understands that the Jackal's motives are self-serving and that the resurrections carry dangerous consequences. Peter must navigate the emotional and moral complexities of these returns, balancing his desire to reconnect with the dead against the broader responsibility to prevent harm. The story builds to a critical showdown between Spider-Man and the Jackal, revealing the full danger of the resurrection technology. Peter faces difficult choices to stop further destruction, restore stability, and protect both the resurrected individuals and the wider public. Dead No More examines themes of mortality and the ethical limits of scientific intervention, highlighting Peter Parker's struggle to reconcile personal longing with the duties of being a hero. In the Go Down Swinging storyline, Norman Osborn, known as the Green Goblin, attempts to regain his former influence by stealing the Carnage symbiote from a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. Osborn merges with the symbiote, transforming into the Red Goblin, a new and highly dangerous adversary. This fusion grants him superhuman strength, enhanced agility, and rapid regenerative abilities, making him a formidable threat to Spider-Man. Peter is unprepared for the Red Goblin's amplified power. Despite his experience and skill, he finds it extremely difficult to match Osborn's combination of brute force and tactical cunning. The battle forces Peter to confront unresolved conflicts and the deep-seated enmity that has long defined his relationship with Osborn. During the conflict, Peter receives support from allies such as J. Jonah Jameson, the editor and former critic of Spider-Man, and Flash Thompson, a former high school classmate who has aided him as Agent Venom. While their assistance provides some advantage, it proves insufficient against the Red Goblin's overwhelming abilities. Recognizing the severity of the threat, Peter ultimately decides to face Osborn directly in a decisive confrontation. The final clash between Spider-Man and the Red Goblin is intense and deeply personal, testing Peter's endurance, resourcefulness, and commitment to protecting others. The resolution of this battle produces lasting consequences, reshaping Peter's relationships and his responsibilities as Spider-Man. Go Down Swinging represents a crucial chapter in Peter Parker's journey, exploring themes of identity, legacy, and the ongoing struggle between heroism and villainy, while setting the stage for future trials and adventures. Spider-Geddon is a 6-issue Marvel Comics storyline released between October and December 2018, serving as a follow-up to the 2014 event Spider-Verse. The plot focuses on the Inheritors, a family of vampiric entities that consume the life force of Spider-People across the multiverse. Having escaped their prior confinement on a radioactive world, they aim to annihilate every Spider-Person. In response, surviving Spider-People from multiple dimensions, including Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and others, join forces to confront this existential threat. The story begins with the Inheritors Inheritors escape, prompting the formation of a spider army composed of spider people from various universes. Key figures include Peter Parker, the original Spider-Man of Earth 616, Miles Morales, a young Spider-Man from a parallel universe, and Spider-Gwen, a version of Gwen Stacy who was empowered instead of Peter. Additional members include Spider-Man 2099, a futuristic Spider-Man, Spider-Punk, a rebellious punk-inspired Spider-Man, and Spider-Woman, a version of Jessica Drew with spider powers. The Inheritors, led by Morlun, launch attacks on spider people throughout the multiverse. The Spider Army responds with coordinated battles, developing strategies to counteract the Inheritors' superior abilities and protect their respective universes. A notable subplot involves the Superior Octopus, a version of Dr. Octopus who has merged with Peter Parker's consciousness. Initially an antagonist, he ultimately allies with the Spider Army, providing essential support. His role introduces themes of redemption and the complexity of heroism and villainy. The climax occurs when the Spider Army mounts a final assault on the Inheritors' stronghold. By combining their powers and exploiting the Inheritors' weaknesses, they defeat the vampiric family. The resolution emphasizes the importance of teamwork and unity among diverse spider people facing a shared threat. The storyline concludes with surviving spider people returning to their home dimensions. Although the immediate danger is resolved, the Inheritors' prior escape hints at potential future conflicts. The 2019 storyline Hunted centers on a deadly survival game devised by Kraven the Hunter. Kraven, aiming to assert his dominance, captures numerous animal-themed characters, including Spider-Man, and traps them in Central Park to serve as prey in a lethal hunt. The narrative begins with Kraven returning to New York City, having created a clone of himself known as the Last Son of Kraven to serve as his heir. He imprisons several characters, including the Lizard, a scientist transformed into a powerful reptilian being, the Vulture, an elderly villain with flight capabilities and enhanced strength, Rhino, a villain encased in a nearly indestructible suit, and Black Cat, a skilled burglar with agility and combat expertise. All captives are contained within a force field surrounding Central Park. Spider-Man recognizes the danger and works to protect the prisoners while thwarting Kraven's deadly scheme. During the hunt, Spider-Man confronts obstacles such as Taskmaster, a mercenary capable of perfectly mimicking fighting techniques, and Black Ant, a duplicate of a prominent adversary enlisted by Kraven to enforce the game. The Vulture attempts to manipulate the prisoners to follow his leadership, further complicating Spider-Man's rescue efforts. Meanwhile, Black Cat devises a plan to escape with Billy Connors, the son of the Lizard, demonstrating her ingenuity and resolve. As the story unfolds, Spider-Man uncovers Kraven's deeper motivations and the personal stakes behind the hunt. In the climax, Kraven seeks redemption and allows Spider-Man to defeat him, effectively ending the deadly game and freeing the captured characters. The arc concludes with Spider-Man reflecting on the events, exploring themes of survival, moral responsibility, and the nuanced challenges of heroism. The 2020 storyline Last Remains continues directly from the events of Sin's Rising and examines the consequences of Peter Parker's pact with Mephisto established in One More Day. The central antagonist is Kindred, a powerful demonic figure whose identity is revealed as Harry Osborn, Peter's former friend. Harry's transformation into Kindred is driven by a desire for revenge, fueled by past traumas and his perception of betrayal tied to Peter's deal with Mephisto. Kindred orchestrates a complex plan that involves resurrecting deceased individuals, including Gwen Stacy, and manipulating them to confront Peter. He also exerts control over other spider-themed heroes, such as Miles Morales, Spider-Woman, a version of Jessica Drew, Anya Corazon, a young heroine with spider powers, and Julia Carpenter, a former Spider-Woman with psychic abilities. These characters are used as instruments in Kindred's intricate scheme, highlighting the moral and emotional challenges Peter must face. The storyline unfolds through intense physical confrontations, psychological manipulation, and critical revelations that force Peter to reassess his past actions and their consequences. The climax of Last Remains establishes Kindred as a formidable threat and sets up ongoing developments in Peter's journey, particularly addressing the enduring impact of his past decisions. Last Remains serves as a crucial chapter in Spider-Man's saga, merging elements from previous arcs with new challenges and emphasizing the long-term effects of Peter Parker's choices on both his life and those around him. The 2021 storyline Sinister War focuses on Spider-Man becoming ensnared in a conflict orchestrated by Kindred, a vengeful entity revealed as Harry Osborn. Kindred manipulates Dr. Octopus to form a new Sinister Six, consisting of the Vulture, the Scorpion, equipped with a powerful mechanical tail, Stegron, a humanoid dinosaur with immense physical strength, the Rhino, the Tarantula, a skilled combatant, and the King Cobra, a martial artist with enhanced agility. In parallel, the Vulture assembles the Savage Six, which includes villains such as the Shocker, a master of vibration concentration-based weaponry, and Mysterio, an expert in illusions and deception. These two villainous factions are set against each other, with Spider-Man caught in the middle. The storyline escalates as Kindred's manipulations create betrayals and shifting alliances among the villains. Spider-Man must contend not only with the Sinister Six and Savage Six, but also with the Sinister Syndicate, a group of skilled criminals and the superior foes of Spider-Man, adding layers of complexity to the battles. Amid the chaos, revelations about Norman Osborn's past dealings with Mephisto expose the extent of corruption influencing the events. The narrative culminates in a confrontation where Spider-Man must carefully navigate the tangled alliances of his enemies while remaining true to his moral principles. Sinister War explores themes of manipulation, legacy, and the blurred boundaries between heroism and villainy, concluding with impactful developments for Spider-Man and his adversaries and setting the stage for future storylines in his saga. The Beyond storyline in The Amazing Spider-Man centers on Ben Reilly, a clone of Peter Parker, who temporarily assumes the role of Spider-Man. The arc begins with Peter Parker incapacitated due to severe radiation poisoning sustained during a battle with the UFOs, a group of superpowered mercenaries. With Peter unable to act, the Beyond Corporation, a powerful technology conglomerate, recruits Ben Reilly to serve as their corporate-sponsored Spider-Man. Eager to prove himself, Ben dons the Spider-Man suit and undertakes missions dictated by the corporation, confronting threats such as Kraven the Hunter, the Lizard, and Morbius, a living vampire scientist. As Ben carries out these duties, he struggles with the Beyond Corporation's manipulative control, which exacerbates his mental instability. During a confrontation with Dr. Otto Octavius, Ben suffers a psychological breakdown. To address this, Maxine Danger, CEO of Beyond Corporation, authorizes a procedure that stabilizes him, but also transforms his identity, giving rise to Chasm, a version of Ben with altered psyche and new abilities. Meanwhile, Peter Parker, recovering from his radiation poisoning, works to reclaim his mantle as Spider-Man. He faces the challenges posed by Ben's tenure and the influence of the Beyond Corporation on the city. The arc concludes with Peter resuming his role as Spider-Man, while Ben, now Chasm, embarks on a new path, setting up future conflicts and storylines. Beyond explores themes of identity, corporate influence, and the psychological demands of being Spider-Man. The Dark Web storyline is a Marvel Comics crossover event that centers on Chasm and the Goblin Queen, two clones with strong ties to Spider-Man and the X-Men. Chasm, previously known as Ben Reilly, is a clone of Peter Parker. Following memory loss and manipulation by the Beyond Corporation, he assumes the identity of Chasm. The Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor, is a clone of Jean Grey with a history of manipulation and conflict with the X-Men. Together, they form an alliance to exact revenge on those they perceive as having wronged them. The event begins with Dark Web number 1, which establishes the attack on New York City, orchestrated by Chasm and the Goblin Queen. Their assault causes widespread destruction and draws the attention of Spider-Man and the X-Men, setting the stage for a complex, multi-layered conflict. Peter Parker confronts Chasm's schemes and their consequences. Venom Volume 5, number 14 to 15, explores Eddie Brock's involvement in the battle. Dark Web, X-Men number 1 to 3, examines the X-Men's response to the crisis, while Dark Web Miss Marvel number 1 to 2 focuses on Miss Marvel's role. Mary Jane and Black Cat, Dark Web number 1 to 5, depicts the impact on Mary Jane Watson and Felicia Hardy. Finally, Gold Goblin number 1 to 5 follows Norman Osborn's transformation into the Gold Goblin and his participation in the events. The Dark Web finale issue concludes the storyline, resolving the major conflicts while setting up future developments in the wider Marvel universe. The event emphasizes themes of identity, revenge, and redemption, and serves as a significant crossover connecting the Spider-Man and X-Men narratives. End of the Spider-Verse concludes the Spider-Verse trilogy, following Spider-Verse and Spider-Geddon. The storyline focuses on Shathra, a wasp goddess intent on replacing the Great Web, the mystical network connecting all spider totems, with her own creation known as the Great Nest. The arc begins in Spider-Man, number 1, where Shathra spreads her venom to infect spider totems across the multiverse, seizing control of them for her plan. The infection affects key figures such as Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Gwen Stacy. As the threat grows, Peter Parker collaborates with other spider heroes from various dimensions to counter Shathra's influence. These spider people, each with unique powers and skills, join forces to protect the multiverse and devise a way to halt Shathra's expansion. The climax occurs in Spider-Man, number 7, when the combined spider heroes confront Shathra directly. Their coordinated efforts determine the outcome of the battle and the survival of the multiverse's spider totems. The storyline concludes with the restoration of the Great Web, reversing the damage inflicted by Shathra. End of the Spider-Verse provides closure to the overarching Spider-Verse saga, resolving the conflicts set in motion by the previous events and reaffirming the enduring unity and resilience of spider people across the multiverse.